Hey everybody, a friend of mine asked if I could make him Dexter's kill knife. Dexter, the TV show, features a serial killer who kills someone at the end of every show. And starting at about season 3, he began to use the same bag of knives. And this is the main knife he used, the hero kill knife, and that's the retractable version for the close-up shots. A lot of the knives were made by Brian Barrow and his special effects team. Some of the knives are actual commercial knives that you can buy, the bag you can buy. So collectors will go and buy the bag, buy the knives. This is a replica that someone made of the main hero or kill knife because not all the knives can obviously be purchased. So a lot of people make their own versions or try to duplicate that knife. A forum poster by the name of the Nick Fox posted this drawing of what he thinks the knife is to scale, about 13¼ inches. I'm going to put it over the actual images, photos of the knife and see if it fits. I'm not sure it fits exactly. I don't like the little protrusions right up close to the blade, the ricasso area where the handle meets the blade. I think there needs to be some changes there. And then the handle width at the base is too wide for me. It fits pretty perfectly when the ratio is preserved over this replica knife. And so I wonder if it was used to make this replica knife or if the drawing came from the replica knife. I don't know. I'm going to make some small changes to it though and see if I can get it to work. Here it is cut out. I've made a few small changes. I'll continue to make some changes as I grind away the shape of the knife. I'm going to put some spray adhesive on and get this thing tacked down and traced out. I'm using 440C stainless steel here, which is a good steel for this project. It's not too expensive. It's a good knife steel, and it's very stainless. And I think it's all we need here. The blade thickness is going to be 1/8 inch, and there is some consensus on that number in the forums. I think it's right, but I don't know. It might be actually a little thinner than that, but we're going to use 1/8. The handle scales are 3/16 inch thick aluminum, and most people agree with that number. I do too. I'm not sure about aluminum. After working with it, it scuffs so easy. I sort of doubt it would, people would tolerate it long around a movie set where it gets moved around and bumped and stuff like that. So I'm actually wondering if the actual prop is maybe titanium or something like that, a titanium handle. I'm shaping it on a 2x72 grinder here with a 36 grit belt. Man, I might actually pull this off. People post in the comments all the time, how long does it take me to make some of these projects? And there's a lot of editing that goes into these videos. Oftentimes these shots are sped up in addition. So obviously it takes me more than 15 or 30 seconds to cut out a knife handle scale like this. And to grind the sides and shape everything takes much longer than the 1.5 you're going to see here. This project I think ended up totaling about 6 hours, thereabouts, plus minus 30 minutes, Here I'm going to make a foil pouch out of steel foil to heat treat my knife in. It needs to be in an oxygen-free environment or as close as possible. I don't have a vacuum oven, so I just make a little steel pouch, put a little piece of wood or paper in there to burn away the oxygen, and then seal it as tight as I can. It does a pretty good job of minimizing oxidation and scale. Here the oven is being programmed. The really cool thing about a lot of alloy steels and stainless steels, even some tool steels, is that You don't have to really quench them in anything to heat treat them. You can either air cool them and hang them in the air after they've reached transformation temperature, or you can quench them between plates often enough, and that's what I'm doing here. I'm taking it at its heat treat temperature out and cooling it between two plates of aluminum. You could air cool 440 steel, but it's such a thin piece of metal, I wanted to really compact it between the plates and keep it straight. Let's work on these handle scales a little bit. I've screwed them together so they'll stay in the exact same position relative to each other, and then I'm going to take and go around the edges again so I can make them as symmetric as possible. Yes, I already heat treated it, so I had to go back and torch the handle while the blade was between that aluminum and soften it up so I could drill it. I don't really have machining equipment, so nor do I have any countersinks, so I'm really having a hard time getting these holes right. There's, it's a 1/8 hole for the screw to go through, then the barrel nut sits in a 1/4 recess. The screws on the outside are recessed as well. I don't have a countersink this size, so it's all drilled with the drill press in 2 different bits. I had to go in with the Dremel and sort of make some extra room in some cases. Let's see if I can get that rounded feel on the handles that you see in the pictures. I'll polish the aluminum to about 600 grit. 440C polishes pretty easily. I'm going to take this to 800 grit. I'm going to mark the center line with this tool. Then we'll start grinding. This is a trick I learned from Gavko's channel, Gavko, Gavko Knives, a knife maker, very, very talented, very good knife maker. Puts felt on the backing for his grinder, and that allows you to make a nice even convex grind. It's a pretty neat trick. Looking at the pictures, the grind is sort of short. The bevel only goes about 1/8 inch, maybe slightly more into the knife there. So it's very steep and very wide angle. The cutting edge, it's a very wide angle. It's it's wider than axes. If you do the math at an 1/8 inch thick plus an 1/8 inch bevel going to angle 0, that means if I plug it into a calculator online, a triangle calculator, that puts that cutting angle at 52 degrees inclusive. So that's much wider than an axe or any machete. I'm not sure how practical that is, and it makes me actually wonder if the blade steel thickness is less than 1/8, like maybe 3/32 or something like that. I'm pretty happy with it. I think if I were a serial killer, I'd have no problem using this. Now, if you're a serial killer, don't email me. I'm not going to make a knife for you. Okay, it's not blood, it's Heinz sugar-free ketchup. Or is it blood? No, it's ketchup. Or is it? Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.